Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tri-Valley League basketball. Roy Reese along with Joe Gentile for what we call tonight a certifiable big game. Joe, the Clockers against the Big Blue of Medfield. It doesn't get much bigger in Tri-Valley League play.
It really doesn't, Roy. A big showdown. First place is on the line. Your Clockers come in with a 9-1 league record, sitting atop the TVL. But right on their heels, the Medfield Big Blue, 8-2 in the league, and I expect nothing less than a terrific game today, Roy. Both teams playing very well lately. Ashland snuck one out at Medfield early in the season, but these are probably both two different teams, both playing good basketball. So I'm looking forward to a terrific game tonight.
Medfield always a tough opponent coming to the Clockers. Herb Grace, hard to believe 15 years that he's been coaching this team. I mean, Herbie, he looks like he's about 32 years old.
Doesn't look much different than the days I played against him, Roy. And Coach Grace, as we know, runs a terrific program. And saw on the local media recently he picked up his 200th win over at Medfield. So congratulations to him. Hopefully he'll stay at that number tonight as Ashland tries to pick up a victory here on their home ball court.
Well, Coach Grace, outside of Chris DeBose, is probably the dean of coaches in the Tri-Valley League. And I'll tell you, Scotty Leap, one of your classmates, I mean, he's a young guy himself. In his, I think it's his 8th or 9th year here, and he's going to be one of the deans of the coaches. Tommy Ingraham's up there from Millis, but outside of those, it's Scotty Leap.
Now these guys have been around, and both Coach Leap and Coach Grace, obviously they both bring so much intensity to the game each night and on the floor, so I expect a real showdown, chess match, if you will. Medfield's going to run their system, their program, as they always do, and Ashland's going to have to play their game. They're going to have to focus on the big guys inside, utilize the height advantage. They're going to have to sustain themselves against some runs. Medfield known for their fast breaking ability. So with this bigger floor, we'll see how things shake out as Ashland's still getting comfortable with the new gym.
Well, one of the things for the Clockers, as you and I have mentioned, they want to get to a certain level of play and play to that level regardless of the competition. I think they're getting closer, but I still don't think they've played what we'd call that perfect 10 games.
I think that's right. They've had some big wins here recently, but they haven't had a real tester probably, and tonight's obviously going to be a test. So, you know, if they can't get up for a game like tonight, then they're probably not going to be able to get up for much. So I'm sure Coach Leap has his guys ready, excited. We'll see how things shake out early. Sometimes that over-intensity can cause problems, but we'll see how both teams get off to a start as the starting lineups begin to be introduced in this new acoustics in the new gym here, Roy.
You can hear everything here. First time these two teams met, Joe, 61-56. A Clocker victory in a tough place, which is in Medfield, and a tough spot on the schedule. They were playing them, I believe, right after that Millis game. You hit the road. That's not easy, and a big win for the Clockers.
Looking back at this season, Roy, that may have been the Clockers' best game. There was Medfield, I believe, has a new gym as well, and they opened up that night. So the Clockers played well. It was a real struggle. It's a tough place to play. They fought hard. They persevered. I expect Medfield to be, quite honestly, a better team. I think they've played well recently. They're working together as a team. So Ashland's going to have an even greater challenge tonight than they did early on at the very beginning of this season.
All right, Smokey Marisi, our athletic director, introducing Jared Bennett, the senior. Jared has really played very, very consistently the last several games and has been a big contributor to the program.
Well, I think the Clockers have had some games where they haven't had full game contributions from Mark or from Kyle Phillips, and it probably has made them stronger as a team, realizing that the other guys have important roles to play and that they're able to fill those roles. Pecora has been a real factor. Jared Bennett, as you say, they're all playing well together, and they're playing well individually on top of that. So we'll look for them to play as a unit tonight, certainly, but I think these guys have all contributed to the recent Clocker wins, and they're going to need them all tonight.
Timmy Fitzgerald, Tom Brohl, our two officials tonight, veterans. They've been around. Here's our national anthem. right, Joe, we'll see how this thing shakes out early in the game. Should be a dandy because it's a must game for Medfield, of course. They're trailing by 1 in the league. The Clockers, if they win it, they'll be 2 up with, I think, 6 to play in the league, and that's awful tough to overcome with a lot of home games coming up against big opponents.
Medfield for the Big Blue Roy, keep an eye on Kevin Lynch as well as Jeff Altimore. Altimore, a terrific shooter, but Lynch really been playing well lately for the Big Blue. In that first showdown, the Clockers did a real nice job shutting Altimore down. We'll see if they're able to sustain that defensively tonight and whether Lynch is able to get untracked against the big guys inside.
Fouls too. Here we go. Phillips against Lynch. The tip is controlled by Medfield's Big Blue. McDermott with it. Gets it to Reardon. Reardon at the top of the key. Off it goes. Underneath. Pretty pass. Shot is no good by McDermott. Rebounded by Phillips. The Clockers hustling up. Jared Bennett, right wing. Underneath. Now the top of the key to Mark. Mark up fakes. Takes the jump shot off the glass. No good. Gets the rebound. Spins. Lays it up. No good. Rebound comes down to Phillips. Or Lynch. Lynch. Up ahead to Altima. Altima. Guarded by Pokora. Ball stolen away by Pokey. Up to Bennett. Bennett off now to Scotty Picard, to Phillips. The pass just a little too tight in the quarters, Joe.
Both teams a little bit shaky early on. The pass is not crisp. Both teams having some trouble handling the ball, but Pecora matching up one-on-one against Altima. He's become a real defensive specialist for the Clockers. And there's a steal by Bennett, and he looks to break.
Bennett all the way underneath, loses the ball.
Nice job defensively here by the Clockers. Unable so far to convert, however, and they need to settle things down, get some good shots. We saw Mark Phillips early, just a little too strong off the glass. Again, that early game intensity, need to work through that.
Here's Pokey against Altima. Altima steps up, takes the jumper, and hits. Good one-on-one move.
And you can hear Coach Leap calling for ISO. That may well be a set play by Medfield, just to isolate Altima, let him go one-on-one, look for his shot.
Pecora, top of the key. Underneath the Mark. Mark, left wing. Takes the little jumper and misses the shot. Rebound, Kyle over the top. Kyle climbing up the back. Tommy Broll calls the play.
A little bit rushed so far. Everything's a little bit too quick. The Clockers need to settle down, get some rhythm going. They're playing nice job on the defensive end so far. They're straight up man-to-man for Ashland.
Here's Reardon. Reardon driving baseline. Swallowed up. Gets it under to Lynch. His shot is up and in. Kevin Lynch with a little hook. 4-0 Medfield. They like to run, play high-powered offense. Underneath to Phillips. Phillips lays it up and in.
And that's a nice power move by the big guy. Real good quickness. Got himself inside and really went up strong. Nice to see from Mark Phillips.
Joe, there's no secret. You go to pound that ball inside. This is McDermott taking the jump shot. Around the rim, no good. Mark with the rebound. Foul call. Tommy Brolt. Let's see who he's got. It's on Altima. His first foul, team's first. Look for the Clockers, I assume, to go back inside, huh?
I think so. They have the advantage. Medfield obviously focusing inside, trying to sag down in on Phillips. Playing the man-to-man, but obviously looking to help.
Kyle off to Pecora. Pecora drives the lane. Up, no good. Gets the rebound and out of bounds. Off of Medfield's Big Blue.
Nice take right there by Pecora. Just couldn't get it to fall. Still a good move, and if he can open things up with his aggressive play on the offensive end, that's going to help the other two big guys.
In it comes to Pecora, out to Bennett. Mark Phillips, Mark up fakes underneath to brother Kyle. Kyle on the glass, gets the bucket and the foul.
Nice job there with the high-low. Nice entry pass and a great power finish by Kyle Phillips, plus the foul on Lynch, I believe.
Yeah, Lynch gets the foul. So here's Kyle looking now to put the Clockers ahead for the first time. power basketball. No secrets. Here's what we're going to do. Stop us.
I think that's right.
It.
I expect both teams back and forth to be all night.
Altima gets it off now. McDermott in the paint. Comes back out. He's guarded by Picard. Dylan McDermott gets it off now. This is Lynch. Lynch working with Mark Phillips on him. Shot is no good. The rebound up. Tip no good. Rebound comes down to Picard. Long pass up to Bennett. Jarrett off and going. Lays it up and in.
Nice job there. Great look ahead, how to push the ball, and Bennett settling himself down before he took that shot.
Altima up fakes Pecora. No, steps call by Timmy Fitzgerald on Altima. 7-4 Clockers. They've run off 7 straight after trailing 4-0.
It starts at the defense, Roy. I'm really impressed so far. Good one-on-one, straight-up man-to-man defense by the Clockers. Doing a nice job of creating difficulty for Medfield on offense.
All right, here's Bennett off to Picard, right wing. Scott off now to Pecora. Shot is up and in. Boy, they are just really going at the interior of that Medfield defense.
Terrific job by both Picard and Pecora. Great pass, great catch, great finish. Fundamentals.
This is Reardon. Off to McDermott. McDermott. The pass is batted away again, but picked up. Shot is no good. The rebound comes down to Lynch. Lynch in the paint. Gets it back out to Altima for 3. Off the glass. No good. The rebound tip. Big Blue have it. They work on underneath, and now the rebound comes down, and it's up to Bennett. He throws it ahead now to Pecora. Pecora on the gallop. Misses the shot. Rebound by Phillips, and he loses the ball out of bounds.
See the whole Clocker bench, though, up on their feet. Terrific hustle. Clocker's really looking to run with the basketball, something that Medfield usually has as a strong point. Ashland not afraid to run themselves so far tonight.
All right, here's Lynch. Lynch, he's got it. He spins in the lane. Watch out, travel. Yes, sir.
Absolutely, nice job there. Clockers looked like they had an idea where that play was going, and they defensed it perfectly.
Joe, 2 things that you mentioned. Pecora is out, and into the game right now is Justin Carrot. Tremendous defense so far by the Clockers. Really intense. It's great to see.
Absolutely, and they seem like they've done a nice job of scouting. They've had some good positioning on set plays by Medfield, so credit the coaching staff on that.
Here's Picard. Scotty drives the lane, up and in! All 5 Clocker starters have scored.
Couldn't ask for much more than that. And Clocker's very excited with the early going here as they pull out to an 11-4 lead, 11 straight, Roy. We expect this one to be back and forth, and I don't think Medfield's going away, but the Clockers early on doing a terrific job.
Herbie Grace is just laying into the Big Blue. He's got him away from that the stands and just really letting them have it here. But I think it's the defense that has really been phenomenal so far for the Clockers. I haven't seen it all year.
No, they're doing a nice job. They're keeping people away from the basket. They're not letting Altima get easy looks. We've seen Lynch with a couple turnovers. Good team defense, but great individual one-on-one defense, and obviously that's important to maintain over the course of 32 minutes. It's tough to do for that full 32, so we'll see how the Clockers maintain it. As you know, Medfield's going to make a run out of their own at some point along the way.
The other thing about the Clockers, I mean, when they get the ball in the transition, I find them really looking up and really looking to pass the ball and get rid of it and break and put the pressure on the Big Blue.
Nice job by Mark Phillips in particular on the rebounding so far, which leads to easy opportunities off the break. Another deflection there by Bennett, and the defense continues.
With hands, feet, they're making them work for everything they got. Here's Altima. He's guarded by Carrot. A new body on him. Altima. Tricky dribbles. Now Phillips comes out. The ball almost stolen away. Lynch gets it. Back into Altima. Down the lane. No good. Rebound. Kyle. Kyle up now to Jared Bennett on the right. He slows down. Gets it off to Mark. Drives, lays it up, no good. Went to the right hand.
Terrific pass and almost finished that one off. Just couldn't get it done.
And down the other end, Matt Reardon breaks the 11-point run, and it's 11-6. Here's Picard. Down the lane he goes, throws it up, no good. Bodies flying on the floor. Double dribble called on Reardon.
A little bit out of control that time by Picard, and you hear Coach Leap exhorting the troops to slow down, keep it calm. Both teams seem to be going at 100 miles an hour, and they're not necessarily executing quite as well as they would like.
Pass into Picard in the backcourt. The other thing I'd say is, outside of the passing and the defense, has been the Clockers' discipline to work the ball down low. And they have been phenomenal every time they've gotten there in this set offense. Here they go again. Here's Carrot. Picard underneath to Mark Phillips. Double team. Swings it back out, and around it goes to Carrot. Carrot looking. Jump shot. No good. Rebound Mark. He gets it up. No good, but a foul's called. They cannot deal with the Clockers underneath.
That's where the advantage is, Roy, and so far the Clockers have taken advantage of it. Nice rebound there by Phillips, and a power up strong as he went right back up as soon as he came down with that, and that's obviously what you want to do when you're that big inside.
11-6, 9:39 to go here in the first half. Mark misses the foul shot. Pacora's coming back in. Out goes Carrot.
Nice job there by Carrot, getting a couple minutes to give.
I guess outgoing is Jared Bennett.
Okay. Coach Leap going to rotate some of these guys who have been working so hard on defense. Get Bennett a breather here. Carrot doing a nice job on Altima.
Second shot is in. I would imagine you may shorten the bench a little bit in a game like this. Here's Altima. Pacora on him. A pair of 10s. This is McDermott. Drive underneath. Pretty pass. Bucket counts. And a foul is going to be called as Donnelly gets the bucket on the pretty feed.
Credit Medfield there, Roy, that time. A nice job finding the open man on the other end underneath. Ashland picks up the foul. I think it went on Carrot.
Carrot gets the foul. You're right. His first. Team second.
Unable to rotate down there, and Drew Donnelly will shoot the one for a three-point play.
Makes it happen. It's 12-9 now. Been a game of streaks. 11 in a row for the Clockers after a 4-point run, and now we've settled down. It's 12-9. John Sline into the game. Carrot to Pacora. Pokey underneath, passes a little too hard for Carrot. Clockers, the turnover bugaboo has really hurt them. They must have 4 or 5 turnovers here in the first half.
Again, some of the aggressiveness, though, you don't want to take away from that. That time, Pacora just too hard with the pass.
All right, here's Lynch getting it off to Altima. Altima to McDermott. McDermott underneath, tipped out to Altima for 3. Swish.
And he can shoot it, Roy. You can't leave him alone. Whoever's got him has to stay with him. That's his shot, and he'll take it when it's there.
Mark Phillips misses the jump shot. Rebound underneath the Sline. The ball is stolen away by Donnelly. Game is tied up at 12. It was 11-4, so Medfield has really come right back in. Here's McDermott driving, turning, jump shot, round the rim, no good. Lynch the rebound. Body throws it up, and the ball is stuck on the rim. I don't think I've seen that in many a year.
I think that's a jump ball situation, as opposed to a turnover, so the arrow going Ashland's way. It's going to be an Ashland possession.
Well, we've almost played half of this first half, and we've got a dead tie game at 12-12. Scotty Picard. He's picked up by Brian DePeace. And I think it's going to be on DePeace.
Looks like it
rammed
will be.
Into Kyle Phillips. Fourth team foul against Medfield. Picard, the two Phillips boys, Pacora and Bennett, the starting 5. Passes batted away and stolen by Altima. And then almost restolen and out of bounds and thrown back in. Altima with it. Jump shot. Round the rim, no good. Kyle with the rebound.
Give Bennett credit there. Great hustle back. Got his hand on the pass. Disrupted the break for Medfield. Led to an Ashland possession.
Underneath. Mark. Shot is no good. Good position. Donnelly with the rebound. Ball is batted away and knocked out of bounds, and it's Medfield's ball.
just a bit off there for Phillips. Had some inside looks so far tonight. Hasn't been able to get them all to drop. That one just off the rim. Again, though, good hustle defensively by the Clockers.
Pass in. Comes to Donnelly. Off it goes. Shot is around the rim. No good. And Kyle with a big rebound. Up to Bennett. He's galloping. Back it goes, and it's slapped away. Sline's got it. Takes a little shot in the lane. No good. The rebound. We've got bodies flying in the paint. And the Big Blue come up with it. Richmond. Off to Altima. Altima drives. Lays it up and in. And a foul is called. Altima's got 7.
That time he got himself to the hoop.
And that foul is on Kyle Phillips, his second. So the Clockers only have 3 team fouls, but 2 already on Kyle Phillips, and fouls will play a big part in this game. 14-12. Clockers had run off 11. It was 11-4.
I don't think either of these teams is going far, so we'll see. The foul shot there is good. Clockers need to get back into some rhythm offensively. Haven't had a shot at the basket in some of the opportunities down the floor. Credit Medfield's defense, though. They've been working hard. You see the man-to-man pressure on the ball.
Here's Picard taking the jump shot. Around the rim, no good. The rebound underneath. Drew Donnelly. Boy, I tell you. What do we have, a foul here? Or? Foul is going to be called on Jared Bennett on a trip. Drew Donnelly, number 22, has really given them a lot of energy coming off the bench. And underneath with the boards. Pass in comes to Donnelly. Kyle picks him up. Watches out. The ball is tipped by Sline and rebounded by Picard.
Picard needs to settle down now. DePease doing some one-on-one defense, and Picard needs to distribute the basketball, not get too tied up in that one-on-one battle.
Kyle, jump shot, round the rim and in. Big bucket for the Clockers.
They needed that one, Roy. They needed it, and Phillips came up with it.
All right, back down the other way we come. This is DePease. He's in there along with Lynch. Lynch drive off to Donnelly. Donnelly swallowed up. Rebound by Slide. Slide stepped out of bounds. Tommy Bro calls that violation. Clockers turnovers killing them.
Yeah, a lot of turnovers, a lot of opportunities for Medfield. That was a nice job there with a good, strong rebound, but Sline just got his back foot out of bounds on the pivot.
All right, inbounds it comes. Here's Lynch. Lynch, top of the key. Altima, batted away by Bennett. Looks like the Clockers are in a semi-zone over 2-3 maybe. Out it comes now in the Donnelly. Donnelly gets it off to the side. Shot is no good. The rebound and a pushing foul underneath. I think it's on Lynch. Let's see.
It's going to go on Lynch.
Yep, his second.
And that's a cheap one for Lynch. He doesn't want to pick that up. He's been a big force for Medfield recently. So see if the Clockers go down low against him. Kyle Phillips to the bench now with 2, and Mark Phillips back in.
All right, Bennett into Picard. Carrot, Mark Phillips. Bennett, they're in the game. Here's Picard off now to Mark Phillips. He's banged by Donnelly. Takes the shot up and in.
Nice job there by Mark Phillips to settle himself and get the shot he wanted.
Here's Donnelly back down the other end. The ball is tipped. Stolen away by Sline. Off to Picard. 16-15 Clockers. Up to Bennett. Jarrett drives. No bucket. Waved off.
Nice look ahead there with the long pass. Good catch by Bennett. Continue to be aggressive. Nice work.
Foul is called. Donnelly has 2. We've got Chris Bernardi's coming into the game. Herb Grace using almost everyone, I think, on his roster here in the first half. Mark Phillips takes a 3 off the rim. I don't think that's what Scott Leap had in mind.
No, Mark Phillips can hit that, but not at that time, and it was too far out. It was an extra step beyond the arc. There's Bennett with another deflection and a steal.
He's
going
driving.
to go to the hoop.
Jared
nice job by
Bennett.
Jared Bennett.
What a great steal, though. The quick hands, Joe.
Terrific. That quickness from Bennett, which we saw so often, it's really shown through the last number of games for the Clockers.
All right, back down now. It's Reardon. Reardon gets it off to Donley. He's been tremendous, this kid Donley, and he's going to be called for steps. Boy, we have had ebbs and flow in this first half. Back and forth it goes.
And credit, both teams playing very well. Working hard, playing defense. Coach is working. Coach Leap stealing that call on the travel. And there's Picard looking to push.
Scotty, he's got it, drives. Down the lane he is, throws it up, no good. Back down Reardon, Reardon. Off, the rebound is picked off by Mark. Scotty Picard with it. Up ahead to Jared Bennett on the right. Jared has been very, very solid here in the first half. Karat, he's got a line, left corner. Bennett back to Picard. They're going to try to work it inside here. Spinning is Karat, misses the shot. Bernardes, and a jump ball.
That's all right. It's a great move by Karat.
Andrew Babb is coming in.
Nice job offensively by Karat there. Just couldn't get it to fall, but even better defensively. Picks up the tie-up, and the possession arrow is going to go to Medfield.
4:09 to go here in the first half. Joe, here's the question. Medfield's used a lot of players off the bench. A lot of substitutions. Clockers have gone with 7 or 8 men. A lot of minutes so far for Scott Picard, Jared Bennett. How does that play in the second half?
Well, we'll have to see, I suppose, Roy. You know, that's what they work for in practice since December, getting themselves in shape for a game like this. So at times I think it can work against you, but in a game with this intensity and this excitement, I think the Clocker guys are going to work through that on adrenaline. And Coach Leap has been trying it bits and pieces to get his guys a break. Give Pecora a couple minutes off of Altimer. Give Bennett a couple minutes here and there. Jared Bennett, though, we've seen him over the last 2 years. He can just keep going. I mean, he's continually in motion and always moving. So never seems to get tired. I think Picard will be an interesting one to watch, as you point out. They've really been doing a job on him as he has the ball. And
making him work.
That gets difficult over the course of a full game. So.
All right, here's Andrew Babb in for Scott Picard. Good time for a substitution with 4:09 to go and a lead of 3 points.
Put on the coaching hat, Roy. Nice job there. Good analysis, and we'll see how long Coach Leap gets him out. Probably just a minute or two to get him a breather.
All right, here's Karat on Altima. Gets right up on him. Underneath, the ball is stolen away by the Clockers, and Jared Bennett with it. Jared, up now to Andrew Babb. He's on the left wing. Swing it around to Karat on the right side. Justin gets it to Mark Phillips. Underneath to Sline. Up fakes, misses the shot. Phillips with it, gets the bucket! What
nice
strength. Boy, what emotion he just showed.
Nice job by all the Clockers there. Sline, good catch and move, and that time a nice job of rebounding.
They got to keep just pounding that ball inside. The discipline. Because no one's going to stop Mark Phillips tonight, I'm telling you right now. Shot is missed on the free throw. Mark's got 7. Clockers up by 5. Back down the other side. Reardon. McDermott underneath. Shot is up, no good. Rebound. Comes down to Altima, takes the jump shot, misses it. Rebound up, no good. The rebound is tipped. Altima with it. Underneath. The shot is blocked by Phillips. Here's Mark, slow down. Gets it off wisely to Bennett.
Nice job there, great block. Catches his own block and then settles it down to get a good shot on the offensive end.
Off to Babb, takes the 3. Yes! What a big 3 by Andrew Babb, the junior.
He's been playing some key minutes for this team, and he can shoot the basketball, Roy. He's starting to get comfortable, and he's a great addition offensively if he can contribute.
Here's Reardon, and Babb's going to get the foul.
And that may just be some sophomore inexperience there. A little overexcited, wanted to do too much.
I think one of the things that I liked about Babb was he just stepped up and took that shot. There was no hesitation. You got to do it.
And you've seen that at points this year. He's not afraid to shoot it because he knows he can, and Coach Leap's happy to have him shoot it when it presents itself.
Oh, great play by Picard, who's back in the game on the block. Gets it up to Babb. He's on the gallop on the right. Underneath, not a mark. Marks triple team. Bennett with it. Up fakes. Has the shot blocked. Gets it back and blocked again. And Bernardes comes down with it. Underneath to McDermott. McDermott is fouled by Babb. Not a good move.
Right there, Medfield coming back the other way. That time, Bernardes defensively with the block on Bennett.
Back and forth they go. 23-17. Pace has been blistering.
It really has.
Half.
Not necessarily a lot of points, but as we said, up and down the floor and real intense defense all the way the full 94 feet.
McDermott misses the shot. Boy, Mark Phillips and brother Kyle, what a job they've done on the boards tonight. Here's Picard working so hard. Matt Reardon really making him work. Off to Jared Bennett. Scott, back to Babb. Underneath to Mark. Mark gets the shot up and in. They cannot stop him.
Terrific spin move away from the double team as it came down on him. Nice job, nice touch by Mark Phillips.
25-17, an 8-point bulge. Usually a game like this would be 80-70 with these teams, but the defense has been sensational tonight. Underneath, pretty pass to Bernardes, and he gets the hoop.
Bernardes giving the Big Blues some big minutes here with Lynch on the bench with the 2 fouls for about the last 5 minutes. He's really done a nice job inside.
Babb for 3 again. Off the rim, no good. Up to Reardon, looking for the foul. 2-on-1, Reardon misses the shot. Tipped up by McDermott and in. 25-21.
That time the Clockers out hustled, beat down the floor by the Big Blue. 3 Big Blue on the missed layup, able to put back the easy layup.
We're under a minute to go here in the first half. What a first half we've seen. They want to get Phillips down low. They get it now to Babb. Underneath to Phillips. 3-man on him. Drives, lays it up and in.
Unstoppable, Roy. Right now, he's unstoppable.
He's got 11 of the first half. 27 points for the Clockers. They cannot stop him. Spin moves, baseline, you name it. Here's McDermott down the lane. Off it goes to Ultima. His shot is up and in. He's got 10. Pass in comes to Bennett. Off now to Picard. Scotty. Tricky dribbles. 14 seconds to go. Here's where you want to keep it in. Phillips again. Up fakes. Foul. What a great move.
Terrific job. The last time he goes up right away. This time with the ball fake. Gets himself to the line. Can use the breather, I'm sure, Roy, but he's got to knock him down. 4-point lead with 7.2 on the clock.
Herb Grace being assisted this year by Ken Brackett. Kenny is the old Natick High School coach.
Long-time basketball name and face in the Metro West area. Been working here working the basketball hoops of the high school gyms for a number of years, Roy. And a real asset, I'm sure, to Coach Grace and his staff on the sideline.
Dan Pecora into the game. Mark Phillips hits the second shot. Mark Phillips has been beyond belief here in the first half. A great substitution. Get him out of the game with 7 seconds. Protect him.
Absolutely.
Slide in.
No fouls at this stage, and you want him on the bench.
Pecora.
Not to pick up a
He's
cheaper.
on Ultima. Ultima. Good screen. Pecora. There's Ultima's jump shot. Got it at the buzzer. Wow.
Frustration right there, I'll tell you. I don't think the Clockers wanted to give up that easy one, but
wow, 29, that was a 2. I think it's 29-25. But they've got 26 up on the scoreboard.
there it is. Back
There it
to
is,
the
29-25.
4-point lead at the half, Roy, and it's been a dandy. Expect nothing less coming around for the last 16 minutes. Stay with us. It's going to be a beauty.
We'll be back with second half in 10 seconds or so. All right, back here at halftime. Roy Reese along with Joe Gentile and Will McClellan, our producer-director tonight on the scene. Always want to thank Will, doing an excellent job as we're getting set for second half action. A barn burner here in the first half. The Clockers with that 4-point lead, 29-25. Terrific first half. I thought one of the other good things about the first half was the officials really let them play.
Absolutely, and you love to see that, Roy. Let the kids play the game, let them win it or lose it on the floor. Both teams playing terrific ball, real intense, and you know, when they're playing that intense defense, there can be a tendency to call those ticky-tack touch fouls. We did not see a lot of them, and it just allows the flow of the game to take its course. It's not a stop-and-go affair. It's a real basketball game, and that's a good point by you, and I think it was well taken. You hope they maintain consistency in that second half as well.
Well, I think the Clockers, if there's one thing they have to improve upon, it's their turnovers. They just cannot have as many turnovers. If they had cut their turnovers down and maybe taken more advantage of the opportunities they have, they'd probably have a double-digit lead here.
I think that's right. Turnovers, a missed opportunity, and Clockers did have a lot. You know, thinking about the first half, neither coach should be upset with the way their teams played. They both played hard. They both played well for good stretches. Of course, knowing Coach Graves and Coach Leaf, they had many things that could be fixed, but at some point you got to credit the other team as well. Ashland playing very well defensively. Medfield at stretches doing a good job shutting Ashland down. So I think it'll be a real test here to see which team can get their go-to guy some baskets. And Mark Phillips for Clockers, Altimer for Medfield have led the respective teams. We'll see which team made adjustments at the half.
All right, here's Karat throwing the ball in bounds to Bennett. Here's a change right off the top. Jarrett now off to Picard on the right wing. Back to Bennett. Karat on the left side. Oh, step's going to be called on Kyle. Took that little baby step as he up-faked.
Coach Leap didn't like that one. Wanted that opportunity for Kyle going strong to the hole. You noted Bennett at the point. Try and get Picard some offensive looks potentially from the outside.
Here's a kick by Picard on the pass. And Medfield will maintain possession. Just underway, 15:39 to go in the game. Clockers 4-point lead. McDermott with it. McDermott. He's a senior. Spins. Takes a little jumper in the lane and hits it.
You noted he gave them a nice lift in the first half. He's gotten some good buckets, and that time he was just left alone for the easy 8-footer.
And the ball is batted out of bounds by Altima. Clockers just have to get back to the basic. Get the ball in low. We hate to keep repeating it, but they can't stop Mark or Kyle down low. Pass comes in out of Bennett. Right side to Kyle. Kyle off to Picard. Scotty. Here's Kyle, loses the ball. So the turnover bug. McDermott up ahead, lays it up and in, ties the game.
Not the way the Clockers wanted to start their second half. Again, the turnovers causing easy buckets to go in the other way that time for Medfield.
All right, Medfield just has to do something to stop Mark, who's got it at the top of the key. Off to Bennett. Jarrett a three. No good. The rebound by Lynch. Lynch speeds it up now to McDermott. McDermott's been sensational here with all 4 points. Altima three. Wow.
He can shoot it, Roy. They got to find him at every point. And a quick timeout by the Clockers as Medfield comes storming out of the gates after the half. Pulls ahead 32-29. Clockers shut out so far. Medfield on fire.
Well, it's been a game of streaks. I mean, this is unbelievable the way these teams just go back and forth. And that's what high school sports is all about, two evenly matched teams.
Especially when you have good players. You know, you can shut them down for periods of time. And the Clockers have been focusing on Altimer. They've been concentrating on him. But he still managed to find a way to put down 12 in the first half, 3 now already here. So he's leading his big blue. And Mark Phillips the same way. As you say, Roy, the tendency is to think each and every time, get it to him, it's an easy bucket. Obviously, that doesn't always come to fruition, but the Clockers do have to concentrate on getting the ball inside where they have such a distinct advantage in height.
Well, that's the focus and the discipline you have to have. It's easy for us to say here on the sidelines. You get out there in the heat of battle and someone's got their hands near your face and you can't see and you think you got a shot. It's a little more difficult to execute what we're talking about.
Absolutely. And credit Medfield. They've really forced Ashland to start their offense out too high, to take some time off the shot clock, and to get down low on the clock without getting into the offensive flow of things.
Where they're just collapsing off of the guards and saying, hey, beat us from out here. We're not going to give you that inside. Kyle, top of the key, shot no good. Rebound, Jarrett. Jarrett's got it. Tricky dribbles. Gets the ball in the Mark. Mark has it go off his foot, and it's picked up now by Reardon. Reardon loses the ball off the foot of a clocker, I think.
They call the kickball, I think, on Picard.
But so far, Medfield's outscored the Clockers 7-0 here in the second half. They've got the ball, 13:48 to go. Out to Lynch. Lynch loses the ball, but it's picked up by McDermott in the paint. Now to Altima. He's double teamed. McDermott underneath. Shot is no good, but the rebound by Ricciardelli, and a foul is going to be called. Ricciardelli going to the line. I tell you, they're taking it to the Clockers.
They are, Roy, and I'll tell you, defensively, I think they made a shift. They seem to be playing almost a triangle and two or something, and the Clockers haven't figured it out yet. Picard, with a lot of pressure on him, hasn't had a good look at the basket almost all night. And so far, other than Phillips, no one else has stepped up to knock down some open shots in order to spread out the Medfield defense.
Sline is in. Out comes Kyle Phillips. Kyle's got 3 fouls. That's why he's out. He picked up the foul. Ricciardelli, swish. 29 for the Clockers, 34 for the Big Blue. Here's Picard, spinning, shooting, missing the shot. Rebound is Altima. He is double teamed. The ball is batted away by Picard, but a foul is called. Right there, Tommy Brolt. Clockers getting away a little bit from their game. As you said, I think the confusion, you can see it.
They're not certain where they want to go and how they're going to get there. And, you know, credit Medfield. They seem to have made some adjustments. Ashland's going to have to find a way to solve them.
Outside, Ricciardelli. Ricciardelli on the right side. Gets it to McDermott. McDermott dribbles. He's picked up by Picard. McDermott underneath, all alone. Matt Reardon. He is all alone.
And Medfield executing their offense to perfection leads to open, easy buckets.
11 straight points for the Big Blue. Here's Karat. Drives down the lane, up and in. Justin Karat gets the Clockers on the board.
Big bucket there to stop the bleeding, Roy. Clockers need to find some other solutions on offense.
Great defense by Medfield. Start of this half. Here's McDermott. Jump shot, swish, and a foul is going to be called on Picard. Dylan McDermott, he's got 6 points here in this half.
Doing a real nice job, that time off the dribble. And the foul is going to be on the shot. Shot's good. Picard picks up his second, and it's a quick one.
It's a perfect half by Medfield so far. There's no fouls against the Big Blue. Altima's only got 1 hoop, and they have scored 14 points. And they're getting it from other sources than Altima or Lynch.
And they're getting it in the offense, Roy, the flow of the offense. As you pointed out, Reardon with that easy, wide-open bucket. And Dylan McDermott doing some nice jobs one-on-one. But so far, Medfield's done a great job in the second half, and the lead is at 7. Chance to push it to 8.
He misses the shot. Here's Picard. Up ahead to Pecora. Pecora spinning. Gets it back out now to Babb. Andrews into the game. Sline, right corner. Back to Andrew Babb. Guarded by Altima. Picard. Slime to Pecora. Underneath to Phillips. Off to Babb for three. Needs to hit it. Doesn't do it. Lynch with the rebound. They gave him the outside shot. Pass off to Reardon. Reardon coming down. McDermott with it. Back to Reardon. Reardon loses the ball. Mark Phillips with the steal. Off to Babb and now to Picard. Scott drives. Misses the shot, but a foul is going to be called on Reardon.
I think the Clockers need the ball in Scotty Picard's hands a little bit more. They tried to go away early with Bennett bringing the ball up. I think in part, Roy, to get Picard a little bit of that rest from the intense pressure. But at the same time, he's the engine that makes this team go. His ability to get to the hole, get to the line is going to be key in order to create points, create opportunities for the Clockers.
Well, Scott's only got, that's his third point. Slime goes out. Kyle Phillips comes in. Now Kyle's got three. He's going to have to play careful. Pecora, Picard, the two Phillips boys, and Andrew Babb are in there right now. And there's the second. Only the fourth point of the half. Clock is down by 5.
Change things up as they jump into the half-court press here.
All right, here's Reardon. He gets away from it. Ball is kicked by Picard. Great game of coaching, and I tell you, the chess match, you said it early, Joe, the moves that the coaches are making, the different defense that the Big Blue has come out. Clockers readjust. Pass comes into McDermott. He's a good-looking point guard. He's a taller point guard. McDermott with it. Off to Reardon on the left. To Lynch. Lynch backing in. Gets it to Reardon. Back to Lynch. Give and go. Pretty play. And the bucket. Oh, what a pretty basketball play.
And that's number 4 on Kyle Phillips to boot. So
40-33. You know that Altum is going to score. Lynch has been held at 2. But I tell you what, in this half here, I've got McDermott with 6, Riccardelli with 2, and Matt Reardon with 5. That's 11 points from 2 players that you really don't expect to pick up much of the scoring slack.
No, that's exactly right. And we wondered, would the big guys be able to get their points? But if their teammates are going to pick up the slack, they may not need to. So Clockers need to respond in kind, either find a way to get to Phillips or they need to find some other guys to score.
Underneath to Phillips, triple team. He triple teamed, throws up the shot off the glass and in. But he's going to be a tired boy when he's got 3 bodies on you.
He's working hard, and Coach Leap's working hard on the sideline, trying to get him
Here's
a call.
Lynch moving in, he's walking. And Riccardelli gets the basket on the feed. Mark Phillips, last man up. He's a little tired. All right, back out to Babb. He's got the 3, doesn't take it. Off to Bennett, to Babb, underneath to Phillips. Triple team. Takes the jumper. Round the rim and in.
Boy, it's tough. You can only expect so much out of the big man. He's working very hard for his team right now.
Underneath it goes. A foul. No foul called on Phillips. Wow.
We'll
up
take
to
that
Bennett.
one.
He's on the gallop. Reardon on him. Phillips lays it up. Bennett does. Lays it up and in. Timeout by Medfield. Immediate timeout.
Don't let the Clockers get back in it, Roy, if they can help it. Cut the lead to 4. And there comes another run. Nice job by Bennett. Again, good to see him under control there going to the basket. Lays it up and in. And Clockers right back in it.
That's a 4-point game, 9:42 to go. A lot of basketball, Joe, left in this game. This has been pretty intense basketball. This is playoff basketball.
It really is. It's tournament-style play. And, you raised that point earlier on tonight, whether the Clockers could maintain the intensity. A little bit of a shorter bench than Medfield so far. We'll see what these guys are made of because they've been working hard, and particularly Mark Phillips inside. I mean, as you said, literally 3 bodies around him trying to make a move each time he gets the ball. So
he's doing everything, 17 points. Ultima did a great job in the first half, but here in the second half, he's only got 1 bucket. And I think the key is, as we keep saying, is Reardon's got 5, McDermott's got 6, Riccardelli's got 4.
And again, many of those are coming out of the flow of the offense. It's not great individual one-on-one moves, but it's open looks that are created by Medfield continuing to run their offense. The old more than one pass theory has come to fruition here.
All right, McDermott, Reardon, Altima, Riccardelli underneath to Lynch. And the ball goes out of bounds off of Lynch.
Nice job there out of the timeout. Again, the 1-3-1 press leads to the turnover. Medfield did not execute.
Drew Donnelly comes into the game. I liked him in that first half. Riccardelli goes out. All right, here's Picard. Scotty's been held to 4. Really has not been a force offensively.
No, he hasn't. See if he can get on track with the shot.
Misses the 3. Altima with the rebound. He takes the 3. No good. The rebound is knocked out of bounds by Picard off of Lynch. Heads up play, Scott Picard.
Good hustle there. Probably not the shot Medfield wanted there from Altima. A little bit quick, a little bit rushed, but he may be showing some signs of frustration based on the job defensively Ashland is doing against him.
All right, clock is battling back. They're down by 4. Bennett off to Babb on the left side, back to Picard. Scott picked up by McDermott. Bennett drives down the lane, finds his way. No, wiped off. Steps call by Tommy Brolt.
Travel call there on Bennett. Coach Leap doesn't like it. Wants the jump stop to be recognized by the official, but not going to get that call here tonight.
All right, back the other way, Altima. Gets it to Reardon. Reardon underneath to Donnelly. Donnelly back to McDermott, and the ball stolen by Pecora. Up to Bennett. Bennett going. Shot it up and in! Woo! What an angle he took.
I don't know if there was an angle. That was the issue, Roy. Great job by Bennett. Big bucket off the break. Blocked by Pecora. Run the floor. Clocker's back within 2.
Lynch gets it off now to Altima. Altima left side. 43-41. Reardon for 3. No good. Rebound. Comes down Babb with it. He's on the gallop. Andrew Babb up ahead now to Bennett. Bennett back to Pecora. A foul's call.
Nice job right there. Clocker's running the break.
Good bit of officiating. Tommy Brolt just went over to Jared Bennett and talked to him about the travel call. Told him what he thinks he did.
He did. Coach Leap, of course, barking in his ear at the same time on the other side, saying, keep doing what you're doing. So Pecora going to the line to shoot 2. Try and get the Clockers back to even with 7:53 on the game clock.
Here's Danny Pecora. Yes. Gets the Clockers to within 1. They led by 4 at the half. Fell behind by 8 here in the second half.
Back and forth, round and round, up and down we go. Pecora.
All night. We'd love it, Joe.
Absolutely. Pecora with a nice spark, though. Got the block that previous time down the floor. This time down. Makes 1 or 2, but good hustle by Danny Pecora, giving his boys a lift on both ends of the floor.
Here's Reardon. McDermott out of the game. He's been very, very good, McDermott. Reardon gets it off to Richmond, who's into the game for McDermott. Altima top of the key. Richmond misses the shot. Picard with the rebound. Double team.
Nice
Gets
job.
it off to Babb.
Big rebound by Picard in there among the trees.
All right, here's Picard. Let's see what they do. They swing Pecora out. Lays it up. No good. Lynch with the rebound. Ball's on the floor, and it's picked up by Altima. Altima up ahead to Donnelly. Donnelly lays it up and in.
Tough break there. All the Clockers scrapping, hustling on the floor. Leads to the easy break down the other end.
Donnelly on Phillips. Fronting him, backing him, doing anything he can to disrupt the big guy. They swing it to Picard. Scotty down the lane to Pecora. Up fakes, lays it up and in. Timeout.
Timeout, Clockers. Scotty Leap wanted one after the made hoop. Not sure why, but
1 point ball game. Joe, how about the length of the floor? What kind of difference does it make? I mean, here we are in the second half now. I mean, they've been running up and down this floor. The intensity has been tremendous.
well, I think it does make a difference. I mean, I'm not sure it works to this Clocker team's advantage necessarily. This Clocker team is not necessarily the full-bore run-and-gun squad that we've seen in years past, particularly with the plethora of big men on the squad. That's going to take a toll over the course of the 32 minutes. It's a little bit of extra trip each time. So, you know, Coach Leap has said that himself. It doesn't necessarily comport with their style of play, but certainly it's not an obstacle to them being successful on any given night. And, you know, on top of the Medfield defense and on top of the intensity of this game, it's just another factor, another contribution to the difficulty the Clockers may have.
Let me throw one other thought out to you, because this is, I don't know, our third or fourth game here in the new gym. Timmy Fitzgerald said, hey, this is great. But he said before the game, the referee, I love the old place. How much of an impact? I mean, you're in a bandbox gym. The crowd is loud. It's not as loud here.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it plays out. I mean, I think tonight part of the factor is, ooh, foul on Phillips with the body. Tonight, Roy, it just doesn't seem like the crowd quantity-wise is here. There's just not a good attendance. Part of that has to do with it being a makeup game after last night's snow. It's the exam week for the students.
Yep.
And so you don't have that full intensity.
And
oh, no,
it's a shooting foul.
He's going to give him the shot. That's awful.
Coach Leap was complaining, and I think the two officials are talking. Underneath.
Nice job by the officials consulting on that. Tommy Bro and Fitzgerald getting together.
Yep.
You like to see that. Swallow the pride, make the call the right way.
Altima with the ball underneath. Clockers look to be in a 2-3 right here. They get it off to Reardon. Reardon. Back to Altima, way outside. To Reardon. Drives right baseline underneath. Up and into Lynch. 47-44. Here's Babb. Ball almost stolen away from the big fella Phillips. Cornered three. No good. The rebound. Reardon with it. Reardon moves, gets it up ahead now to Richmond. Richmond off to Altima for three. Wow, what a bucket that is. A big, big, big bucket.
Can't leave him alone, Roy. Can't leave him alone, and that's his shot all night. When they've covered him, he hasn't gotten it. When they have not had a man on him, he's had an opportunity for good looks, and that time, tough trip down the floor.
All right, into Phillips. Pecora in the lane, puts his head down, up and in.
Nice job by Pecora again to set himself, make the easy bucket. Medfield continues to press, though, continues to run, continues to push the basketball.
50-46. 5:10 to go in the ball game. Donnelly almost has the ball knocked away by Pecora. Reardon. Reardon off to Altima. Altima back to Reardon. Drives left side. Underneath, the ball is loose. Lynch with it. Three men on him. Ball batted away. Reardon with a shot. It's up, no good. Rebound, Lynch up and around the rim and in. What a bucket by Lynch.
And that's a backbreaker, Roy. Clockers played tough D for 27 seconds, and they find the miss and put it back up and in.
All right. Clockers back at it, off to Picard. Scotty. Down by 6. Gets it to Bennett. Jarrett. Pecora. Picard takes that three. Doesn't get it. That shot not falling tonight.
Just can't get in the rhythm, or can't get in the flow, and we know when Scotty gets hot, he can be deadly. Tonight he just hasn't been able to find it, and there's Altima blocked.
Oh, late whistle, and that's going to be a 3-shot foul.
That's a tough call right there. That could be deadly, boy.
4:09 to go. Clock is down by 6, and 3 shots here.
I have to say, Roy, we've complimented the officials, but that one looked like he had ball, I'll tell you. It's a little bit of a late whistle on that. And you don't want to put Altima at the line with the chance to get easy points. We'll see if Coach Leap here shifts back to the man-to-man. He tried to jump into the zone, and I'll tell you, they've tried to get a rest from Mark Phillips. We saw him dying there. They went to the zone, but it's given Medfield some looks. I think they may need to go back to the man-to-man.
Second one is good. Altima got 20 on the night. Kyle's into the game. He's got 4 fouls. 4:09 to go. This is the time. Altima's third shot is good. Great second half by Medfield so far.
Absolutely. Give them credit. They're playing well. They're doing a good job. They're bodying and they're finding Mark Phillips. And Ashland hasn't been able to get the ball inside. And, Roy, no one else has stepped up from the outside. They're knocking down threes here. It's a different ball game, but they haven't been able to do it.
Kyle misses the shot, gets the rebound out, tip, and it is Reardon with it. Reardon steps. Wow. Tight call, Tommy Broke.
9 points, though, Roy, and all of a sudden the clock becomes an obstacle, 3:46.
I think you said it, though. I mean, no one from outside is hitting that shot, and you can't expect Mark Phillips to do it. I think the strategy has been brilliant. Underneath Mark, no bucket. Foul is going to be called. I think what they're doing is they're triple teaming him down low. They're saying, look, Mark, you're not going to beat us.
Absolutely.
You pass the ball to someone else. And you know, he's done that.
Absolutely.
He's passed the ball. Pecora's got a couple of hoops here. But you can't keep doing that. You got to shake it up a little bit and get a little diversity. Hit 1 or 2 from outside.
No, absolutely. You know, Medfield has said, we're not going to let Phillips beat us. If somebody else does, fine, we'll tip our hats. And so far, no one else for Ashland has stepped up.
Bennett off to Mark. Mark moving in the lane, and we've got a foul going to be called on McDermott. 4th team foul only on Medfield. They're playing very, very well. They picked up 2 fouls here. They played, what, the first 13 or 12 minutes with 2 fouls. Babb takes the jumper. Doesn't get it. Reardon with it. Reardon. You can see the confidence in the big blue. Reardon, man-to-man now for the Clockers. Underneath, all alone is Lynch. Missed the shot. How did he miss that?
Well, it's a break. I'll tell you, that could have been the dagger, Roy. They missed it, and Clockers need to execute offensively. They need to get some looks, some opportunities here. They haven't been rolling. There's Phillips inside.
He's got it.
Nice entry pass that time.
He's got 19, 55-48. Clockers were down by 8 earlier. They were down by 9. Now it's 7. 2:50 to go. As Joe said, the clock, the ally of the big blue, though. Underneath, the ball is batted. A foul is going to be called on Jared Bennett.
It's going to be a 1-on-1 now. That's Altima. He's going to go to the line, and he's almost automatic from that stripe, Roy. So all night long, Clockers have been trying to force Altima to his left. When he goes to the right, he gets opportunities, he gets looks. That time, they finally got him to go to the left, and they got the whistle against him.
Okay, Altima's at the line. End of the game is Donnelly. I'd say the first 5 minutes of this half were key, though, Joe, and really determining the ebb and flow of the game. Clockers came back. They got to within 1. But they expended an awful lot of energy. 56-48. Altima's second.
Plenty of time, Roy, but this is not the Dover Sherburne or Norton that the Clockers are matched up against here. They're playing one of the best teams in the league, and as hard and as well as they can play, it may just be too much to overcome. A 9-point deficit, 2.5 to go. We'll see what they're made of and if they can pull off a tremendous comeback tonight.
3 guys on Mark. Underneath to Kyle. Kyle's shot is foul by Donnelly.
Clockers there may have gotten a break, but nice look inside by Mark. Good hands by Kyle to secure that rebound. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Kyle at the line for 2.
It's going to be 5 on
5
Drew
fouls
Donnelly.
on Donnelly. He's got 5 points. Into the game is Riccardelli. A 9-point lead for the Big Blue of Medfield.
Looking at that score sheet, we talked about the balance in those first few minutes for the Clockers, but so far this
Coming down the stretch, they've gone to the guy they had to go to, and that's Altima.
That's right. They really have. And the Clockers as well, they've looked to Mark Phillips, but he's only been able to get 6 points in that second half.
Here's one of the keys. When Altima needed to get it, he was probably refreshed because the other guys had taken up so much of the energy early in the half, and he didn't have to do anything.
Kyle Phillips knocks down the first one.
Mark Phillips going to be a tired young boy tonight. And he hits the second. I don't think Mark's come out of the second half.
No, he's played hard, and you give him credit.
All right, here's Altima. They try to break the press. Lynch spinning, and he called for steps. No question about it.
Nice job there. Again, that 1-3-1, it hasn't necessarily caused an easy layup turnover, but it's caused problems for Medfield once they've gotten the ball over half court. So I'm sure the Clockers will stay with that. As the 2-minute mark approaches, 7-point deficit for Ashland here at home.
All right, here's Picard. Long 3 by Babb, off the rim, no good. Scott Picard with the rebound. Off to Kyle, back now to Babb. Bennett, his pass is batted away and stolen by Altima. Spinning. Altima gets it off to Reardon. Minute 40 to go. They want to spread out. Reardon has the ball knocked away. And it goes off Babb. Timeout, Medfield.
Good timeout there by Coach Grace. Wants to settle his guys down with 1:34 in the game clock, 17 on the shot clock, but it's a tough possession there for the Clockers. They had to look at the 3, couldn't knock it down. And the turnover by Bennett. Can't fault Jared Bennett. He's played hard all night long. Really done a nice job over the course of this game. And, just not enough offensive options here for the Clockers, it seems, Roy. 50 points. We've said that how many times do we say it? If they're in the 65-70 range, they're tough to beat. When they don't score their points, they can find ways to win, but against a team like Medfield, again, that's a difficult task.
They have made Scott Picard work very, very hard. As you pointed out in the first half, he's got 1 field goal in the game with 2 free throws. And he's had to work for everything he's done in this game.
And he had a stretch of games where he was such a big part of the offense, not only distributing the ball, but really creating points. And we saw him take it to the basket once, maybe twice tonight, but we haven't seen that consistent penetration that he's able to get, nor have we seen the outside shot fall. So, and these guys are going to play hard. They're going to be back. It's not the end of the season, and they're still in first place if they don't pull this one out. But 1:34 to go. We'll see if the Clockers can sneak one out here, Roy, in a miracle fashion.
All right, here we go. Altima pushes off, and an offensive foul called on Altima. And Herb Grace looks beat red.
He's below. He's ripped.
A minute 29 to go.
Hey, the Clockers, they've had a break. They got to take advantage. They've caught a couple here. They got to make a difference off that turnover because they're not going to get any more, I'll tell you that.
All right, Bennett on the right wing. Top of the key. Long 3 for Mark. Round the rim, no good. Kyle with the rebound. Lays it up, no good. Mark with the rebound. Batted away. But the clock, a minute 10 right now. What a game Mark has played.
Yeah, they've avoided the over the back.
Andrew Babb. He's got it off to Bennett. Jarrett takes the little jumper. No good. Rebound Altima. And a foul is going to be called on Mark Phillips.
And they just can't get it to fall when they need it, Roy. They can't.
That's that outside shooting.
Yeah, and again, you can't fault the guys. At some point, some nights it just won't go in the bucket. That's a good shot. It's an open look. Just didn't fall, but never really able to find the rhythm. They weren't taking shots in their set position off nice, open, easy looks. They're taking shots in the rush off the dribble, and just that shot by Bennett, another example. Couldn't get it to fall.
Here's Altima. This kid's been perfect from the line. I don't think any one of the foul shots has even hit the rim.
He's a tremendous shooter, and he's been a real force for the Big Blue this whole season long. He's among the league leaders in scoring, and when you're a scorer, you find ways to get points, and the free throw line is always an easy one.
And he's only a junior. All right, here's Scott Picard. Down by 9, drives the lane, throws it up, no good. Rebound, Lynch. Foul's going to be called on Picard. 48 seconds to go. Medfield has come here, and they're going to come away with a victory. So Kevin Lynch is going to the line. A tremendous second half by the Big Blue. Lynch shot hits it.
Lynch really not a factor tonight, Roy, but that's a testament to the Big Blues team effort. As you pointed out, those first 5 minutes of the second half, Medfield came out like gangbusters, and Ashland didn't come out strong. Lynch hits the second, and that may be all she wrote for the Clockers. 61-50, 45 seconds on the clock.
Here's Picard, driving, weaving, misses. Shot tipped up by Mark Phillips, up and in. Timeout, Clockers. Mark's got 21. He has done everything tonight here at the gym. But I tell you, the strategy of just making him work and give him his points. They give him his points. They're just saying no one else is going to beat us unless someone steps up and takes the slack up.
And then, credit Medfield again. We never want to be overly critical, as you say. It's the high school level. These guys on both teams came out, played hard, well prepared, well played game, well officiated on the whole. So, a great high school basketball game.
High school game.
And
it really
sometimes
is.
you just don't come out on top. But again, you're looking ahead, if you will. You come out of here at 9-2. You got a chance to play some tough teams here in the next stretch. They're going to face that Bellingham team again, but they're going to get them at home. And as you said, Roy, a number of games here at home. So Clocker's going to have to find a way to get comfortable in this gym, get their shooting touch down, perhaps pick up their athleticism a little, or at least their durability. As you say, the intensity early on may have paid a price late in this one for Ashland.
All right, 36 seconds to go, 61-52. McDermott gets it into Altima. Over the top is Mark Phillips. And Altima's going back to the line where he's going to get 2 shots, and I wouldn't want to bet that he doesn't make them both.
Well, I got to tell you, Roy, you call the timeout after the make, and the one guy who you don't want to get the ball coming out of bounds is Altima. He's clearly their go-to guy from the free throw line, so Clocker's not executing there off the timeout. They need to just prevent him from getting the basketball.
And he misses.
That a boy, Roy. Tell him again that he's unstoppable.
61-52. Herb Grace just looked at the clock. He's wanting to see these 35 seconds tick away. 9 points. Biggest lead is, I think it was 11. All right, here's Scott Picard, guarded by Reardon. They make him work. Scott takes the long 3. Around the rim, no good. The rebound comes out to McDermott, and a foul is going to be called on behind from Picard.
Back and forth they went tonight, Roy, all the way from the get-go. Stretches and runs by both teams, but Medfield with that run at the beginning of the second. After they made it, Ashland never really to get back over the hump. They came back, got down by 1, I think, at about 43-42. Couldn't quite tie it up, and the combination of the full court intensity by Medfield plus the amount of energy, how many times have we seen it, to come back and never quite be able to make it over the hump. McDermott makes both, and the scoreboard will show a big gap in this one when teams look tomorrow, but
Scott Picard gets the layup. He's got a half a dozen. Kicked out of bounds by Scott. 8 seconds to go. Clocker's still giving it their all. And it comes to Altima. And Karat with a foul on him. And Altima's going to go back to the line. He's got 2 3-point hoops in this half.
And the rest are all from the line, I think, Roy, if I'm right. 12 in the first
14
half.
points. He's got 14 points in this half, 8 from the line.
12 in the first, so he's 26 with 2 more to come, and that's quite an offensive performance. Don't think we've seen anyone match up against Ashland this year and put that big of a number on the scoreboard. Again, nothing but the bottom of the net for Jeff Altima. Tip your hat to him. That first game, as we said, one of the keys for Ashland was the ability to shut him down. Tonight, not able to do it.
Well, he's done it here in the second half with a great performance. Here's Scott Picard. Takes the long 3. No good, and that's the end of the ball game.
(66-54) Medfield with the big win on Ashland's home floor. Ties up the TVL race, makes it a tight one. 9-2. Both squads coming out of here looking toward the last 6 games of this season and what's certainly going to be a dogfight. How many times do we say it, Roy? You never can tell what's going to happen, never can predict in this league. Both teams with tough matchups along the way. So Clockers at this point have their destiny still in their own hands, but they got Bellingham and Hopkinton, among others. So we'll run down the totals for you as we wrap things up here from the new high school gym. For Ashland, well, let's start with Medfield just to give you some of the balanced attack. Bernardi's had 2, Donnelly had 5. Dylan McDermott totaling 12 on the game, and you pointed out many times the key contributions he made for the Medfield Big Blue. Rick Ardelli with 4. Matt Reardon had 7. Kevin Lynch ended up with 8. Not necessarily a factor, but played some key minutes, faced some foul trouble. And the big number for Medfield, obviously, Jeff Altimer, the junior, with 28 points for the Medfield Big Blue, a total of 66. For Ashland, Jared Bennett had 8. Scotty Picard with 6. We mentioned his shooting woes and the inability to create offense for the Clockers from the point position. Kyle Phillips finishing with 7. Mark Phillips, tip your hat. As we said, a tremendous effort, a great overall game. Had 21, but couldn't do it all by himself tonight, Roy. Pecora had 7. Karat with a bucket. And Andrew Babb, interesting, the 3 points, the only 3 for Ashland. Never able to open up that Medfield zone in that second half. 54 total, 12-point loss. Put this one behind you and go from here. That's all you can do, right?
I'd say this in the second half there. The beginning of that second half, as you mentioned, McDermott, Riccardelli, and Reardon started out the first 4 or 5 minutes. The Clockers didn't get a basket for the first 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And they opened up a 9-point lead with those 3 doing the scoring. Altima didn't do anything. And then he came up with, when they needed him, the go-to guy, 16 points in the half.
Well, he certainly was deadly from the line, but you're right, Roy. Those guys got some key buckets early, and Ashland, by contrast, unable to get buckets. Whereas in the first half, getting some great looks down low, some nice easy layups or some putbacks, really struggled to get the ball inside, really struggled to get into the offense whatsoever. Credit Medfield again, a nice job at halftime, came out with some intensity, able to shut Ashland down, and really got back into the game before Ashland even knew what happened. So that 4-point halftime lead basically dissipated before anyone had a chance to look up back at the scoreboard.
All right, now we're going to play coach before we sign off. And we're going to say, hey, from a loss like this, the adversity, you learn something. And you got to have it a positive come out of this. And if you're the coach, you say to them, hey, guys, you got to play 32 minutes, night in and night out. Every team, not just Medfield.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's exactly the quote I was thinking of, as I said. 32 minutes. You need the full 32, particularly against the Medfield, but against all the teams. We've talked early this season about maintaining consistency, and tonight's the night where in games past they might have been able to make a comeback, make a run as they did against Hopkinton, get themselves back in the game. But when you're facing high-quality opponents in the TVL or as you look ahead to the tournament, that's not going to happen, so you have to recognize that. Bring your A game for the full 32, and I think, as you say, that's a lesson that can be learned and applied going forward.
All right, hey, a great night for us, a good high school basketball game. We want to thank Will McClellan coming out here, doing his thing, producing, directing the whole scene here at the brand new gymnasium. The final score, 66-54. Medfield tops the Ashland Clockers in Tri-Valley League play, and they move into a tie for first place with several games to go. It's going to be a great season. Hope you keep joining us. For Joe Gentile, Will McClellan, this is Roy Reese saying good night from Ashland High School.